And what I'd like to talk about is two things. One is how our organization coped with, and generally in law firms are coping with what's happening in the environment, and some interesting aspects of how the environment is impacting our business and law firms in general. So as we started this whole COVID process in March of last year, law firms turned out to be impacted extraordinarily hard. Because suddenly people had to operate from home, and lawyers are typically more office-oriented. So they had to learn a lot of different skills, exerted different muscles in becoming more digital, in becoming more distributed, and carrying on their business through means that they had never done before. More often, the personal one-on-one contact, relationship building completely dried up. But over the last 9 months, we have found that organizations have become extraordinarily flexible. They've become responsive. And they've created new ways of connecting with people and doing things they never could do before. And this has accelerated change in a way that's not been seen, I guess, in our industry, and I'm sure in all other industries as well. We've become digital. We've been able to see unusual situations and find new ways of coping with them, and in fact challenging them and doing better. So in some ways, I think the organization, even though has become distributed and remote, has become more connected in different ways. It's almost like the brain has reconnected its neurons and continues to function in faster ways than normal. We've lost, obviously, the face-to-face contact, but we've made connections in different ways that seem to work and seem to have adapted to this new ways that we are seeing in the environment. So that's one aspect of how organizations have changed. And my prediction is that organizations will continue to change like this, becoming more like amoeba-like and then getting into places they've never been before, but feeling things out and then becoming smarter and smarter in adapting and working through the environment. The second aspect is how has the environment affected us? Since we are a full-service law firm, it's interesting to see that certain things have done really well. If you look, for example, at labor, there's been a lot of demand for labor services and for advice. There's been a lot of demand for insurance services. Certainly, bankruptcy has done well in economy which is not going through the best of times. We are seeing that immigration and capital markets have done well. And then surprisingly, real estate, which was low, which was impacted terrifically by the recession and impact of slowdown, has actually come back. We're seeing, so we're mirroring some of these general trends in the environment in the US economy in our business. But for example, courts are not operating at full capacity. So we're finding that litigation is somewhat down. But as jurors get back, as courts get back, we're finding that litigation is coming back as well. So it's fascinating to see how mega forces in the economy are impacting us in a way that we can actually measure and notice over these last 10 months.